Greetings and welcome to another Corepunk video. Today we're going to talk about the Alpha 2 and how it went. So I was playing 2 of the days and then I was supposed to play more, but the server had to be closed because of some issues. But again, remember, alphas are there to be tested. So we are basically testing them, finding issues, and we found some pretty big issues, which also made them close the servers before. So people didn't play a version where it was a bit unplayable. But I think we should go into this article here, read it, and then I'm going to give my own review on top of it also, because I played it, I experienced the issues, I've been talking with people who played it. So let's try and go through this article and see what the developer team is saying themselves, and then I'm also going to give my honest opinion about different stuff compared, relevant to this. So, thoughts on Alpha 2 and in general. Hello everyone, today we want to share our thoughts about the ongoing test and a little about everything in general. Technical issues. We have already gathered a vast amount of important feedback and continue to collect more. We identified the critical bugs and see the areas that needs our focus. Our technical team has been working diligently these days, analyzing a large amount of real-time data from the test. We want to highlight the exemplary resilience of the artificial core technical department in improving gameplay experience during the test with quick and effective solutions. We also want to thank you, our players, for continuing to play despite constant disconnects, shard bugs, as well as game balance issues. Your persistence in logging in back into the game and playing helps us tremendous. This means everything and will certainly be fixed. That's great news. So basically what they mean here with the technical issues was that we kept getting, every time when you log, well, in the start, of course, there was some issues logging in. Always, that's the case, always the case when you create when you turn on the server and a lot of people try to log in. After that was fixed, they had another issue which actually persisted through the entire alpha, which was the error 403. So 403 is a standard error from websiting, internet, so on site. It's not normally like a forbidden, you're not allowed to enter this site. But in this case here, when you were playing, you kept getting sometimes the error 403, or you could either say reconnect or quit. The problem is that sometimes when you said reconnect, your character kind of got out of sync with the server and you could end up doing some stuff, and when you then came back to the game, everything you just did was not in the game anymore because you were playing something on your local machine but not on the server. And then they kind of fixed that, which was a good thing. But then I've had, for example, the issue where it would keep every 30 seconds, it would pop up on my screen and say, do you want to reconnect or quit because error 403. You just keep getting this error, which was super annoying. And I also think that's one of the main issues. They had to close the servers before because a lot of people started getting these issues. All the time. And I heard some of us, they basically said they had these issues non-stop, which made sense to why closing the servers earlier, because why would you have a test going on if people are not actually going to enjoy it? And also if the team, of course, already have the technical issues they need to fix, if they already have everything they need to fix the issues, just close it, because it's just going to make people more frustrated. So I feel like it was the very best decision they did by closing it early, to not make people more annoyed than it already was. You know what I mean? And again, you can't be too annoyed because it is an alpha, which is supposed to be, I guess it's only a good, of course it would be perfect if there was no issues. That means it would be ready to launch. But still, finding issues is also a good thing, because now they can fix them. So for the next test we will get soonish, it should be fixed. But yeah, the game. Note, chests should not drop like this. We mixed up the chances. Epic items in the game will be rare, just like the chests. But we felt we left it this way for the test. Let it be so in this iteration. Besides, we'll be still tweaking the balance settings, so don't pay attention for it now. Basically, some people, they found chests. They also found in the end of the train trails, there was a few chests where you could keep looting, and they would just like drop a lot of insane items, like epic items and so on. This is not what the game is actually going to be like. They just like, you know, left it on so people could like test items. You can only see the main direction and fundamental principles of the game. All the gameplay is built around the progression of your character. What a surprise. You level up a character, unlock all available systems, and in the end game you work on improving or finding your builds. As we mentioned earlier, our goal was never to tell you how to play. Our goal had always been provided you with good tools. To achieve this, we tried to make character progress system versatile, giving players as many opportunities as possible for creativity. The game starts slowly, that's a fact. This is a design necessity. We're not saying we are right, we're saying this is how we envision the game. From a slow start comes the motivation to progress, and you start to advance further. It's important that at this stage the game can captivate you with its style, atmosphere, and basic gameplay, making you want to stay in the world for a while. This is not a long time, and considering the feedback and advice from our community, we have significantly improved the smoothness and experience from level 1 to 5. Ask the testers from the first test what they had to go through. Now, we think it's acceptable in terms of speed and time spent, considering how the game now has 20 levels. Before reading on to this, I do agree. On the earlier tests, it was hard to level. It was hard to kill any mobs at all. It was a really struggle to get out there in levels and just continue like improving. Like just playing the game was hard. It was really goddamn hard. Now with this new alpha, they have still some balance issues, but for example, if you played a destroyer or legionary, you could easily go out and kill 1, 2, or 3 rats, no problem. If you played an infiltrator or ranger, impossible. Just impossible. You could kill 1, you could barely kill 2. Like you could kill 2, but you would have low HP, but you couldn't kill 3. So they definitely have some balance stuff with the different characters. Like, you know what I'm saying, like a legionary destroyer could kill 3 rats with no problem. A ranger and an infiltrator could kill 1, but almost only 2. So you can see there's some issues still in the low levels. I'm sure all classes are going to be fun and strong in max level with good gear. But early game, which is very important for new players, like if you buy a game and if you are having a really bad time the first 5 levels, it's not sure that they actually want to return to the game. So it's just so important to make sure that 1 to 5 first levels are fun. And I have to admit, they have improved that. It is way better now than it was in the previous tests. If I am completely happy about the stage between level 1 to 5, maybe not 100% happy, because I felt like we had to use way too many campfires, a bit too much food, and the food wasn't strong enough. You know what I mean? Like the campfire was a campfire is a campfire you can sit down and then you can sit at it and get HP back. Or you could go back to the main city and get HP back. Food was also okay, but it wasn't that easy to get the food back. So you kept using, like, I don't know, there was just something off with how much HP you lost against mobs and how little the campfire food was actually healing you back. I just feel like, I don't know, I felt like, a bread could easily heal you fully up. I can probably keep talking about this for ages, but I'm just trying to say it still didn't feel 100% balanced in level 1 to 5. It's way better, way better, but it's still not, in my opinion, perfect. But again, it's an alpha, and now they're getting tons of feedback from, of course, the test we just had. But yeah, let's move on instead of me just sitting and rambling. The game requires that you put in a small amount of effort And if you do, once you start succeeding in playing the game, you will begin to feel good. Corepunk is one of those games where you need to really play it to start understanding what it's about. The more you know about the game, the more interesting and deeper it will become. And this will pay off because the further you go, the more enjoyment you will get. In Corepunk, to get enjoyment, you need to put in a bit of effort. This is how motivation systems in the game are designed. With each artifact, each level, each talent, you will feel your character become stronger. Subconsciously, yeah, you can read this word, I don't know how to say it. Sensing this progression. Your brain starts to be motivated to seek more information about the game, to learn more, to unlock more, to progress further, because you feel this progression. This is our goal. This is how we see our progression. The initial effort is necessary to achieve contrast in sensation and boost motivation at the first significant improvement, e.g. an artifact, or better yet, two. To ease the pain of initial stages, we use various techniques. For example, we create pleasant visuals, graphics, and an atmosphere that can captivate you, allowing you to enjoy being and exploring the new world of a new game. We create NPCs with well thought out stories and backgrounds, work on more thoughtful dialogues, choose jokes, and constantly improve the experience in the world. Let's note that right away that this does not negate the fact that we need to polish the initial game from level 1 to 5. To be honest, everything needs to be polished. And I'm glad that they still themselves see that 1 to 5 is good, but it still needs polishing. And make it more user-friendly quality of life features. Improve quest system, rewards, etc., including many tutorials. We know where we need to work. And I'm so happy that he's actually, or them, is saying this, that they know where to improve the game. They know. Which I also just said. This level 1 here, 1 to 5, is very important to improve on. In our opinion, you start playing the game when you begin to learn it. When you're motivated to progress by learning more about the game, its world, and its community. The game begins at that very moment. The game in Corepunk started from the moment it was announced, when the first community members began to show interest, when discussions started on Discord and forums. I was there. The first day, the first moment. So, yeah, it's true. It is true. The game needs polishing, of course. It's an alpha. Level 1 to 5 needs polishing. I would, for example, I think the thing that annoys me most in level 1 to 5 is the quest. The second quest you get is from a bot, an NPC, that gives you a quest where you need to take some lumber behind him, the campfire. Then you give him the lumber and he gives you 5 campfires. Perfect, all good. He gives you a second quest where you need to find 3 hardwood. So basically, like a hard wood. And you need to find 3 of them. And if you start running around in the forest around him and trying to find this hardwood, you can search for hours without finding anyone. If you then run very, very, very long north, you will find a place in the forest where there's a lot of it, and you will find it in no second. But you have to run very far away from the quest guy to find it. I feel like it's common sense. No, that sounds wrong. That sounds harsh. I feel like it's normal when you take a quest from someone that the quest is possibly, especially it's the second quest you get in the game, that the tree should be around him. And maybe they made the trees around him. Maybe there was too many people who took them, so I couldn't find them. But I'm just saying, I really, really feel that those trees should have been around that guy, because that quest annoyed me. Really. And another thing is, I feel like the respawn rate on mobs is way too slow. Like when you go to the first quest where you have to kill monsters, the rats. Finally, the rats, they actually drop the tails. Back in the days, in other tests, they didn't drop the items. You had to kill like 10 rats before getting one of the tails, and you needed 10. So you had to like kill 100 rats. But now they actually dropped the quest load. But now it's hard to find some of them. I feel like the respawn rate on these rats is too low, because I actually had to run around with, you can see there's like camps where the rats are supposed to spawn, like in MOBAs. And if you run to them, in my case, most of them was empty, and I actually had to run around to try find rats. And I don't know, I think it's probably okay in a high level, but again, in level 1 to 5, I feel like the quest should be there. But again, I might be wrong on it. Maybe it's in the experience that you need to run around and search for it. I'm just saying how I feel, that I felt like I was chasing, I couldn't find my trees, I couldn't find my rats. If they just increased the spawn rate of the rats and just added a few more trees around this guy, you can hear my problems would be solved, and I don't have anything else to complain about in the alpha. Everything after that was quite okay. So, and you can just hear me how important it is to have the first part of the game perfect. So, again, I'm not complaining, I'm just giving my honest feedback on the low-level experience. Alright, this was a very debated topic. AI voiceover. So basically, when you talk with NPCs in the game, sometimes you didn't question, you just knew this was an AI voice because it didn't change in the voice. Like, for example, if I was a quest giver, by the way, Artificial Core, if you need me as a quest NPC voice, let me know. So basically, if I was a quest giver, let's say I'm going to give a quest to someone, and it would be something like, oh, hello, adventurer, welcome. Could you please find my brother? He's a dumb brother. Oh yeah, he's so dumb. Please find him in the Forgotten Woods. But be careful, it's very dangerous. You can hear my sound is changing when I when I say it's dangerous, I go down like, be careful, and so on. The problem with these AI voices is that they talk very, what do you say? I can't find the word, but they talk very, hello sir, thank you for bringing in my quest. Now please go to my brother and find him. He's a dumb man. I hate him, but tell him I love him. That would be like how the AI talks. It actually does an okay job compared to the AI. I'm actually impressed how well the AI talked. Like, I'm impressed how good the voices are compared to its AI. I didn't think first time it was AI. I was like, when people said it was AI, I was like, oh, now you mention it. But that's the difference between AI, because they don't really go like into down up in the voices, and real people. So, but yeah. Okay, I talk way too much, but people know me in the Corepunk community, my videos are very long. Of course, we want to have all our dialogues voiced by professional actors. We'll tell you more, it's our dream, but we are an independent mid-sized studio, and we simply must choose very carefully when we can, and cannot direct our limited resources. It's a matter of survival. Keep in mind, this game have not taken any of our money yet. They have never asked about money, and you have no way to pay them. So all the development they have been doing for I don't know how many years now, many years, plus 4 or 5 years, they have done that on their own bill. I don't know how they do it, but they do. Which I also think is why they are in a situation where they need to go into early access soon, because they probably need money soon, I would assume. In this case, using AI to do work and show players how it can look and feel greatly helps the development and promotion of the game. So don't view it as only negativity. Look at the possibilities. This opportunity allows us to present our product to public faster and show some things, at least in a draft version, which means survival in the modern market condition, and in turn means that we will be another studio able to hire many voice actors, because we will have opportunity to provide our players with higher quality game. We don't know any independent studio on the market that wouldn't want to include professional voice acting in their games. So yeah, don't worry, the AI will be removed once the economy looks better and the game is probably closer to an end, and so on. Game monetizations. Since the announcement date, we have been openly talked about this topic. We have always envisioned Corepunk as a no pay to win model. Our marketing plan was clear. We wanted the game to sell itself with its visual, ID, concept, and execution. We always believed that people would play a good game. A good game will always find its players its player, if it's made with love, attention, and understanding of what we want. The game will be sold on a buy-to-play model with an in-game store that will not have items capable of enhancing your character, no boosters or any other gameplay elements for sale. Previously we had an idea to introduce a battle pass, but we have since abandoned that idea and there will be no battle passes. Okay, fair enough. Let's clarify right away. We are not against other monetization models or games with such models. Never say never. Any models that can bring income to developers and feed their families is deeply respected by us, because we know what a titanic effort is. Alright. We simply believe Corepunk in its base is built so that it will not survive and earn enough for long-term existence with such... Wait, what? We simply believe that Corepunk in its base is built so that it will not survive and earn enough long-term existence with such a model. Most of the systems embedded in the game from project's early stages are exclusively related to the gameplay and not focused on monetization. If we wanted to monetize it through pay to win, we would have to redesign the project. Okay. So yeah, the game is made to be a game you buy, like Diablo 4. You buy it, you play it, you enjoy it. And of course, in this game as well, it's going to have monetization, like, you know, cosmetics you can buy. No battle passes, but cosmetics you can buy, which is a good... I love buying skins, so I'm going to be that guy who buys skins, because that's just how I am. Our only way to exist as a studio is to release a game that will be very interesting to play. Yes, amen to that. Now, early access. This is an important one, because this is actually starting so they can actually start earning money. The main thing we want to say in the core principle of our game launch IDs has always been that we can start monetizing the game only when players have seen it, tried it, and made their own conclusions about whether they find it interesting to play. Players should understand what they are paying for. And we need to understand if we are selling a product ready for fun, where people can spend their time and enjoy it. We're confident that Corepunk in early access will fully meet this. You already see and understand what the game will be like and how it will be played. For early access, as we previously reported, we will add 2 new major settlements and 2 new biomes with their own NPCs, quests and monsters. So basically right now, there's only this forest, green place and a city, but they're gonna add 2 more big zones like this, which is cool. One biome will be entirely PvP and the other will be entirely PvE oriented. 2 instances and 2 battlegrounds. Ooh, 2 instances and 2 battlegrounds. Me like. Several world bosses to kill, tier 3 itemizations, the synthesis machine and its full functionality, and a lot of other content that can all be listed in an article, and a lot of polishing in all areas. All this combined with all the game systems being designed for full replayability will give players many months of enjoyable gameplay. We want to enter an early access as soon as possible for 2 reasons. First, we have been working on the game for 10 years. Okay, so when I said plus 5 to 6, I was way off. And we need to pay our bills. See, this is what I'm saying. They need to pay their bills. Even when the game comes in early access and it's still gonna have bugs, it's still gonna have disconnect problems. I don't care. I'm gonna throw my money at that game and make sure that they earn some money. I hope the fans of the game is gonna do the same, to show, you know, love to the game and basically show them we are here. Second, but no less important, the last test, and especially this one, showed us how great it is to have constantly online servers with real players and receive real-time technical and gameplay feedback. The accuracy and speed iteration increase many times over, which is invaluable. Like, oh god, I hate these words. With such a production pipeline, where we have a constantly playing player base, Corepunk will reach the highest level of gameplay quality. Calibrations will be insanely effective, and early access sales will give us the opportunity to significantly increase the speed and quality of the content production. Respect to this, I also feel like, one thing I would say, of course, when they go to early access is, of course, they need to make sure that they have a launcher which is 100% working. We saw some big problems where they send a launcher and then they send another launcher. You had to like remove everything and install the new launcher. Of course, when it goes into early access, they're going to make sure the launcher they're sending out is the launcher that we have now and we will keep. So they can basically send patches out to our launchers. So like Battle.net and Steam, whenever there's an update to the entire launcher, it gets the update and so on. Where I don't think this launcher was like online. I don't know really how it worked, but still, they just, when they actually do early access, they gotta make sure that they have a launcher file they can send out to us and update it whenever it needs updating. So we don't have to re-download the launcher, if you know what I mean. Secondly, they of course need to fix the bug where your character gets either wiped or go back in time. Because when you play a game, when the game is going into an early access, it basically means soft launch. It means this character I'm going to play on now is going to get saved through the game. If suddenly your character is gone, if your character just lost 5 levels, people are going to get pissed. If the game has errors where, disconnects, server crashes, bugs, that's fine. That's how it works. But just for an early access, I just see it as the most important part is make sure the character is there and it doesn't disappear or lose levels. And the launcher we get is a fully functional launcher where everything just works with it with no problem. Of course, again, there can be errors. There can be maybe a few times we have to reinstall. But still, yeah. Alright, the last part, general thoughts. Corepunk was not just made as a business, although it certainly was, but it was also created as a project of passion and love for games. This is our contribution to the world of games. Every team member currently working on the game has put a piece of themselves into it, a part of their soul. We never doubted that when people see the game and play it, they will love it because they feel how the game was created. Every pixel, every step. We found our unique style, our unique game design. The game has evolved significantly over the years. Our community has grown over 100,000 registrations in the last 6 months alone, and we have developed all of which influence Corepunk. You can imagine how many of your IDs over the years has been incorporated into the game, from Discord to forums, comments on various YouTube videos, and all the content you create. That must be us content creators and all the content you create. Corepunk is a product of the collective efforts of developers and community. This is its strength. Oh god, this is its strength. That's evil to put the words like that. Especially for not someone who's native English. Many people think that there is no point in focusing on players having to discover everything themselves. That over time there will be tons of guides about the game and everything will be explained, and people will have to search through various video channels and websites created by players to learn everything. And that it's pointless. But we see the point in this. When players have opportunity to create various content about the game, share something you found or learned, or share their secrets with the public, it's a huge plus for everyone, the content creator, the players seeking answers, and us, the developers. I do agree. One of the games that made my channel get most success was actually Lost Ark. And why? Because the game was freaking complicated. And I made a video about all the systems in the game. Literally any system in the game I made a video about. which made me get like 10,000 subscribers because I had a video about every single complicated mechanic in the game. So, and when you have one of those MMOs where it's not complicated, everyone logs in and know what the game is about, then it's very hard to make content because you need to make either like good, you know what I mean, like either good content where you play really good the game or explain some builds, but there's no need for guides because the game is so easy explained. So this game is definitely a game where I can see myself having to create guides, which is a good thing as me as a content creator. The game looks beautiful on streams, attracts attentions with its appearance, and people enjoy watching what happens on the screen because there's a lot of exploration and unexpected situations. Tell me about it. I was fighting 2 rats on my ranger and died, and the entire chat went crazy. This is how you showcase the game to the public, how the community grows, creating an ecosystem around the game from which not only developers but also the entire community can benefit. Whether they are readers or content creators, this is our goal. The game is more than just a game, it's the community and the ecosystem growing around it, and we understand this perfectly. Thank you, friends, for playing, streaming, and creating content about Corepunk. You provide invaluable support in promoting and growing the game, especially in these challenging times with fierce competition and many excellent teams and games. We greatly appreciate your contribution, and all we can do from our side is to release a game where you, the players, your viewers, readers, and everyone interested in Corepunk and its content will have fun and find it profitable for many, many years. Thank you to everyone who read this long message. Thank you to everyone testing the game, watching streams, and showing interest in the game. You are part of this universe, and we are grateful to you, and we are grateful to you for it. Your Corepunk team. Damn. Actually, damn. Good post. Good post. Corepunk team, I appreciate that post. That was a very good post. It took me 30 minutes to make this video, but I mean, I also had a lot of like feedback and opinions about what was said in this article. But good post. I enjoyed the alpha, with not having issues. I enjoyed every time I was in. Again, the level 1 to 5 experience sometimes confused me. Sometimes I was like, what am I supposed to do now? How do I level up? But I'm sure, you know, that's gonna get polished. Yeah, so thanks for watching. If you're looking for a community to play Corepunk with once it comes out or next test, feel free to join LoFi Paladins, which is my gaming community. So you can find the Discord link in descriptions below. But yeah, thanks for watching. Have a great day, and I'll see you on the next Corepunk test. Peace out.